You do your thing and you just kick it to me whenever you're ready. Mhm.
Hello, everybody. Hmm, slow entry here today. Oh, here we go. Hi, Christine. Goldilocks. Had it was a blog I did years ago. Maybe not years ago, but called the Goldilocks Zone or something. And it was about feeling into your body and your body knowing, just like Goldilocks, like, oh, this is the right chair and this is the right temperature and everything. Abby, hi, Lee, Jack. Humantality. Oh, nice name by Dr. Khalid. Human Not Broken. Hey, Mark. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Abby. Welcome, y'all. Welcome, Doc Smith, for your third appearance here. I'm looking so forward to this, as I always look forward to your work. We're going to learn some simple. I got my ball.
My trademark.
My ball. I've been working with it. I want to hear. I know you have the simple techniques, but I want to hear, like, if anyway. I have some math questions for you out the ball.
That's great.
So we're gonna
Make time for that.
Doc's got a plan for us today. We got some great things. He's going to talk about a class he's teaching starting Monday, 7-week class. I just have a few announcements since this is my new Friday, so I won't be back until Monday. Monday, I think Steph Peters is going to be back on. We will talk AI attunement again, but more so, I want to talk to Steph about story, and I want to talk about the new story that we're writing as we're creating this, what we're calling the Soul Salon for New Earth Architects. And so, how Eye of the Beholder, his novel, is as our story, and how our story is changing in this new Earth. So Steph will be back, and I know there's a lot of you that I haven't reached out to yet, or you've reached out to me. I'm getting there. I promise I'll get to you soon. It will be I'll DM you. Lucy is coming on the week after. I believe it's that Wednesday. I forgot the date, and she'll be talking forest schooling and mothering in this new way and parenting in this new way. Um, and we've got some other folks lined up, including um, my new friend Devin, who is coding for writing code for the New Humanity, has an attuned AI, really cool stuff. So what I will do once these things are more locked in is put on my pinned post for the Homefront podcast on my Substack. I'll put who's coming up on the schedule and start to have like a TV guide there. And as I've encouraged all of you, bring your medicine, bring your healing, do your live streams. And if you resonate with what we're doing here, let me know what your schedule is, and you'll be part of the TV guide. We're going to just start, you know, networking this thing. So please do that.
Well, I should put something on there.
Put something on there. Exactly. Send me your schedule. Send me whenever you're going live. Do you have a regular thing? And then I'll just post it. It'll be the hub for the New Earth Architects.
Okay.
Right?
Hey there, Randolph. Howdy, brother.
There's Randolph. Hey, Randolph. Howdy from Lansing, Michigan. Aha. Home of Michigan State. The rival. I went to University of Michigan.
Okay.
Ann Arbor. Hi, beautiful Abby. Jackie, good to see you. Old Wolf, hi. Hey, Carrie, good to see you. Carrie was just saying, good, keep going, get that live stream. Can't wait to tune into your show. And that's part of the reason, like, I have so much I want to write and things just coming through. I'm like overwhelmed with ideas. So just Monday through Wednesday. And again, the schedule is Monday and Wednesday, noon Pacific, usually an hour and a half or around that. Yesterday it was 2 hours with Dr. Ginny. Today it'll be about an hour with Doc Smith. It was over 2 hours with Steph on Monday. It just depends. But Monday and Wednesday, noon, Tuesday, 4:00 Pacific. And that's it. I think that's it for my announcements. Doc's going to tell us a story and then teach us a bunch of cool tools.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much, Doug, Megan. Thank you for creating this space and the openness. Open in the heart and the mind. There's only one word for heart and mind in Chinese. So it's
What is it?
Ji,
Ji. Beautiful.
Xi, heart, mind.
I love that. I didn't know that. That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So your open heart, mind, thank you for creating this space. There's so much power in emptiness. It's the most powerful.
That's all the power. That's the source. Yep.
Unlimited potential. Unlimited potential. Wow.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Just because you were talking about it, your sort of network that you're creating here, where anyone who's doing a live stream can be part of it. It resonates with me because I've been struggling. The last year with all the things that I have going on. Each one could be its own. Like, I could just focus completely on this and change so many people's lives.
Yes.
I've got about 3 or 4 of those things. And for the people that are just on here now, we'll get to shortly. There's 3 takeaways that I want everybody to take away from this today. And if you forget everything else, it's okay. The power of feet, the power of our hands on our feet. So if you're a mother or father, the power of your hands on your child's feet or your parents' feet, if they're struggling, you can't mess it up. You literally can hardly mess it up. Just the power of foot reflexology is one thing that I want to communicate. The second thing is the power of a belly rub. And the third thing is the power of placing one hand underneath the occiput, the back of the skull, calmly holding the head, just like this with the hand. And then the other hand calmly over the forehead like this, right here. And the fingers might be, over the eyes. The eyes are going to close. Get comfortable with your fingers. And just that calmness. Those are 3 very powerful things that almost 95% of symptoms will resolve quickly, like within an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. Migraine, irritable bowels, anxiety, depression, insomnia.
Right.
So many of our most common and difficult to deal with symptoms will just go away. And I want to talk about why that is and how it's not the placebo effect. Placebo effect, sure, that's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of everything. Anytime that somebody in a position of some authority or some trust says, here, this is going to help you. Guess what? That just helped you.
Yeah.
Even if it actually hurt you materially, mechanically, and physically, even if it's poisonous pharma product that actually destroys your kidneys and makes it harder for your organs to work, just that feeling of, oh, I've got something that's going to help me now, that changes your mindset. It changes the way
the frequency. It's the field, right? You create a field of love and clarity. Yeah.
Exactly. So there is a placebo effect. There's also a nocebo effect. Have you heard of that? Right. Sure. So that's when we get the idea in our head that we're going to be sick or that it's hurting us so that it,
or that we're diseased or we're disordered or we're broken or we're whatever.
So we bring it on. So the power of what I'm sharing today is so much beyond the placebo effect. It's real science. It's real material, physical, mechanical, tangible, palpable. It's funny because I criticize, a lot of us will criticize the mainstream, whatever we want to call it, European, I call it European paradigm, the mechanistic worldview, where we look for single causes and things like that. I criticize that, but then at the same time, it's funny because that system will completely ignore something like a foot massage and say, oh, that at best it has placebo effect. It's just a placebo effect, and that's why your headache's gone.
Yeah.
Really? Did you scientifically study that? Did you actually do the rigorous scientific study to deeply understand the whole paradigm and why we would do that? And then did you set up an experiment to determine, comparing a foot massage to other things, that it's literally only placebo effect.
Yes. Yes. I was accused recently of being anti-science, and I was like, no, the science we have is anti-science.
Thank you. The science we have
not
is
scientific at all, and not to mention funded by ulterior
it's
pharmaceutical companies with agendas. Yeah,
it's complete pseudoscience, and it's such an insult to our ancestors, and it's as if Chinese medicine never happened. It's as if Ayurveda never happened.
Yep.
These
ancestral medicine, women, indigenous medicine, never happened.
It never happened, and
they burned the books, literally.
And the people,
and the people, absolutely.
Right. Exactly. So it doesn't take many people to get burned at the stake before the whole society realizes, wait a minute, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to talk about that. I'm never going to appear like that person who got burned at the stake.
Yes.
So then
deep fear, ancestral fear in us.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's so quick. People say, oh, that's quackery. That's nonsense. What is that? Some witchcraft?
Yeah.
No, it's real science. It's the real science. So I want to talk about the real science of foot reflexology, of a belly rub, of a calm hands on the back of the head and the forehead. We'll give people a little bit more time to come in here because people straggle in and so forth, and I'll try to keep people's attention here with a story that just happened this last weekend. Yeah. So I went on a one night camping trip with a buddy of mine who came up from LA, and we were camping at Carpinteria State Beach, and I came back on Friday, and without blaming anybody, my dog friends were given flea medicine. A very mainstream flea medicine that was found on Amazon. And long story short, I come home and my dog friend Bodie, he's like out, almost unresponsive. If I pick him up, I would have to pick him up and bring him outside and set him on the ground, and he could hardly stand.
Oh shoot!
This was on Friday, and then the next day he was a little bit worse, and throughout this whole time, I was doing body work on him. Immediately started doing body work on him, and I assess his breathing. That's the essential thing. That what I'm trying to communicate here is that probably 90% or more, maybe 95, 99% of people would have taken him to the vet. And I refuse to do that because I've seen it enough times. They're just as bad as the medical doctors. They misinterpret what's happening, and they just reflexively prescribe pills, and it's the worst thing that can happen. You're just taking somebody who's sick and making them sicker. So long story short, did a bunch of body work on him, focused a lot on the this point right here where the brainstem comes out of his skull and goes into his spinal cord and the whole cervical spine. I was just working a bunch right in here. And for hours, like a couple hours of just massage deep in his cervical spine, just creating all that movement right in here. Just he's lying down, and I've got my hands right in here, and I'm just going like this, just massaging all those little tiny tendons and muscles all in here and helping him to relax and release. And it was all super tight. His central nervous system was poisoned, right?
Yes.
So he wasn't eating any food for the whole day. On Thursday, he ate some food earlier, but then he threw it up. Friday, he didn't eat anything. Saturday, he didn't eat anything. Sunday, he didn't eat anything. And we're starting to get a little scared, like, okay, is he just going to keep getting worse? He wasn't even drinking water until Sunday. He finally drank water. And looking back, at the time I realized, I said, he's going to be okay. His breathing is a little bit faster than normal. It's a little bit more labored than normal, but it's not crazy. It's just he's obviously dealing with something inside, and he's just breathing a little bit faster than normal. And on I think it was on Saturday, I took him out and just stood him up in the yard, and he's just standing there, and I wanted him to pee because he hasn't peed in like a couple days. So I go over and I put my hands in here, like deep into his upper thighs, on the inside of his thighs, groin, and it's super tight. All the muscles are super locked up. So I go in, I start massaging deeply in there, and I'm standing up, like he's standing right here, and I just stand over him, just bend over. I'm just hinging at my hips and just massaging his all in here for like 10 minutes. And then he goes pee. And that's a big deal, because when people can't release, they can't eliminate, it just keeps building up. And that's what these quack doctors, that's all they are. They're quack doctors. They'll literally take your dog, or they'll take you, and they'll put you in a bed, hook you up to, fluids and all that stuff. And they'll never take you outside and see if you can go through natural processes in a natural way. They're gonna, they'll hook up tubes to you to get the fluids out, or to put the fluids in, rather than realizing, like, oh yeah, this person's super tight all over, all of the muscles that are involved with holding on to that urine. Okay. And this is where it comes back to the mechanical thing. Like, the Western paradigm is supposedly mechanical and mechanistic, but they miss the most obvious basic mechanics that are right in front of them.
Yes.
It's okay, my dog is not peeing. Maybe the muscles that are involved with releasing that pee, maybe those muscles are so tense, tight, and locked up that they literally can't release. They need
they think of organic chemistry. They don't think of the body. They don't think of the muscle, the form. They don't. It's all theoretical. It's all imagined. They don't touch our bodies anymore either.
And almost all of it's wrong, right? Yeah. Everything at that molecular level is a theory that that
supports patent-based medicine. Is really what it's. Yeah.
Right. And so there's a great book called The Molecular Vision of Life, written by a woman named Lily E. Kay, and people should check that book out if they want to know the history of how our health went from being, right in front of us. Like, how are we feeling? How's our range of motion? Look at the tongue, look at the face. How are you feeling? Let me palpate your body, and how does it feel? Yes. It went that's basic, that's real assessment, and it got transformed into, I don't even look at you anymore. I'm just going to take a test of your blood chemistry. Yep. And then based off your blood chemistry, I'm going to give you another drug. Yes. And the whole time, the actual material, physical reality has not even been touched.
No. And there's no time for it, right? Like, I worked in integrative health with functional medicine doctors, with osteopaths who were built to do that, but they got their 15 to 20 minute, sections, and everybody comes in looking for labs, because now all the patients are thinking about that. And so, several of them left the field and are just doing like health consultation. They had to like relearn how to heal themselves, first of all, because they really didn't learn it in med school.
Yeah. You just let a big one. You just let a big one out. And as much as we want to blame the system and blame whatever, and I don't like Trump. I don't like any of them. Anybody that we ever want to complain about being powerful, guess what? It's because we gave them the power.
We've got all the power. We
literally gave it to them. Literally went and said,
yep.
People go, they walk on their own choice over to the doctors, the medical doctor, and they say, just like you said, I want all these labs. I want these labs. Why? anybody who's listening to this, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. And I mean, there's probably a few countries where this is not the case, but almost anywhere in the world, and certainly anywhere in America, your local, the person does not even need to speak English. They can literally be fresh off the boat from Thailand, from wherever they're from. And if they practice Thai massage, guess what? You don't ever need to go to a medical doctor again. Just go to that person. That person is going to actually help you.
Yeah.
Actually help you. And they're not going
like help you be embodied, help you know your body, help you feel your body.
Right. They're not going to, we don't practice the dark art of diagnosis. The dark art of diagnosis is
the dark art of diagnosis.
It is.
Yes, I refused my whole time as a psychologist. I would just, everybody got an adjustment disorder because no, you're not fucking disordered.
Yeah. Thank you. These are all part of our nature. You know, whatever expression is happening is not a disorder. It's the result of this plus this plus this plus time. And
yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of getting all over the place here. I was talking about my dog friend Bodie. And my point is, thank God he's all better now. He's completely better. From what we were researching, you know, the way he was presenting, it was going to be a multi-$1,000 vet bill. You know, taking to the vet, there's going to be a battery of tests, again, lab work. And then, you know, he's probably going to be there for a couple nights and you'll be lucky if he lives. That's what people online were saying. Like, I spent $5,000 and my dog died at the vet's office, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to teach you and everybody listening here is so powerful that it's not only going to save your life, it'll save you a bunch of money, save you a bunch of headache, and increase the value, the quality of your life tremendously.
Yes.
It's the difference between having a migraine and spending weeks and weeks with no relief, then going to the medical doctor and it gets worse. They give you, this happens. I have so many stories and examples.
Okay.
People are getting Botox now. You know this? For migraines. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Don't anybody do it. Please don't do it. Do not do any of that stuff. It's completely unnecessary.
Blocks your meridians, blocks your third eye. Oh, so many.
I have my wife, one of her coworkers, got Botox for her migraines. And, you know, I offered, I said, hey, you know, she's welcome to come to me. And my wife's like, well, she's not really into that stuff. So, you know, people are on their path. You know what I mean? Like,
they're on their path. Absolutely.
They'll literally,
and they'll learn. We're all we learn through suffering or through direct listening.
she can't stop vomiting. She got Botox and now she has, they have the nerve to call it another disease, and they've diagnosed her with another disease, and they're saying that it's not because of the Botox. It happened right after the Botox and it hasn't stopped in like a month and a half. And it's, what do they call it? It's like, you know, nonstop vomiting syndrome or something like that. It's like,
as if she was just born with it.
But,
right.
So
yeah. Anti-science right there.
It's just, it's insane what happens. But a foot reflexology massage, it doesn't even have to be a technical reflexology massage. It can literally just be holding somebody's feet.
Yeah.
And being calm, and they feel your presence at their feet.
Yes.
And then physically, mechanically, materially, actually, the energy that's stuck up here, which is what we call a migraine or what we call a headache.
Yep. Just energy.
Right. Many other symptoms. And it's not a nebulous energy. It's a very concrete material, scientifically repeatable,
measurable
energy. Yeah. There's blood, guys. Guess what? There's a bunch of blood that either flows from the heart up to the brain with a bunch of oxygen in it, or the airway is closed off and there's less oxygen in the blood, and then there's less blood flow from the heart to the brain. So when that flow is reduced, it's like things pool up, right? So things are pooling up. So there's stagnation of stuck energy. That's what we call it migraines, we call it headaches. Many other symptoms have that same basic reality to them. It's the energy is getting pooled up and stuck and stagnated rather than freely flowing both directions.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start to massage somebody's feet, I've said this before, it's the farthest point away from the head.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
we're creating the most amount of movement that we can create. And just by doing that, even if it doesn't matter if you're on the correct reflexology points for whatever organ, just by bringing the attention down to the feet, we're now creating flow of energy.
Yes. Attention is the healing. Yeah. I've said this before, but Beverly Rubik, who studied energy healing for 35 years, the mechanism doesn't matter what the tool, right? Acupuncture, Reiki, doesn't matter. Matter follows energy, which follows awareness. So you put attention on the feet, touch the feet, like you're saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be technical. It doesn't need to be all the right points. The energy just flows in the direction of attention. That's why just embodiment coming into the body is healing. You're moving the energy and you're releasing the blood. You're releasing the material because the matter follows the energetic shift.
Exactly.
Which follows the awareness. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a very material, physical, scientific thing that if our NIH and CDC and all them, if they actually had any interest in science or health, and if they weren't just tools for industry, that could so easily set up an experiment, and it'd be fun. We could set up an experiment,
We could do it. Well, this is the new earth. I mean, this is the gift economy, healers economy. We're just gonna fucking do it because they are not going to.
So the experiment,
waiting for Godot over there. It's not gonna happen.
The experiment is so simple to set up, and this is actually an idea I've had for a while that I think would be so fun. You get some people together who are happy to offer services. Also, it's a great learning opportunity for people who want to learn how to do this. But we go to a park in SLO or Santa Barbara or wherever, and like you've seen the trucks that go around or the trailer, and they have showers for people.
Yeah.
Right. I thought about maybe working with them and offer, body work and healing. And we can so easily set up an experiment and just everybody gets the same exact treatment. All you're going to do is a basic foot massage here. I'm going to show you. It's going to take you 10 minutes. You're going to do this, this, and this, and this. And we could set up an experiment and record, oh, here's all the symptoms that got resolved in 15 minutes,
Love it.
But
let's do it. I'm there.
Okay. Beautiful. I like it.
Yeah.
So we got 30 people on here now. That's pretty good. Let's real quick to recap. So I'm going to talk about foot reflexology, foot massage, the power of it, belly rub, hand on belly, the power of that, and then also power of hand on the back of the neck and on the forehead. Now, if we look here at the skull, okay, this point right here is an essential point. This is where the brain turns into the brain stem and goes into the spinal cord. So no matter what, when we're working on anybody, if it's your child, your parent, with anybody with any pain, I want you to think about this point right here and this whole posture right here. Okay? And just notice what people that are experiencing pain or disease, notice what their posture looks like. And it's almost always going to be collapsed right up here. So one of the first things that you want to do is get people into good posture, get them into the best posture that you can get them into before you start doing whatever you're going to do, foot massage, belly rub, whatever. Make sure that they're comfortable and able to relax. And also we want to make sure that this right here is in the best position that it can be. So what that's going to look like is the back of the neck. The back of the neck is going to be lengthened and flattened rather than usually what happens is our head is forward, but then we hinge up here like this so we can see the horizon, right? So people are like this typically. So we want to change that to this. So no matter who you're working on or how, that's one of the first things we want to do is get good posture, especially at that point right there. So with that being said, the power of a foot massage is so vast because all of our organs are reflexed on the feet. Okay. And what that means is we can impact the function of the organ from that point on the feet just by placing pressure and putting attention there. Okay. There's a flow of energy that goes from the organ to that point, and most importantly to understand, it doesn't just go to that point, it goes through that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we are a field and the world is a field.
Exactly.
Field.
So if I'm massaging somebody, say this is somebody's foot and I'm massaging their foot, or just say it's their hand, whatever. I'm massaging their hand. I don't, I know that there's all these acupressure points that I can spend my time on. And I can get deep in these points, and these are great points. However, I don't just do that. I also...
Yes. Release it.
Pull the energy. And I love to use sound effects. Helps the person feel and imagine, oh yeah, that energy it's not getting stuck in my finger anymore. It's going out.
Yes.
Leaving.
Yes.
So,
right.
So when you're working on somebody's feet or somebody's hands or whatever, just remember that we're not going to get focused on one point, even if it's a great point. We're going to remember that it's all part of a line that goes from all the way down to the earth, or it goes all the way up to the sky. So let's see, the stomach and spleen are on the left foot. Okay. I like in here, this region in here, and then liver, gallbladder on the other side, right in here. Other than that, all the points are pretty much the same on both feet. Pregnancy is one contraindication you may have heard for a foot massage. Don't get a foot massage if you're pregnant. Have you heard that?
No, but
okay. People will say that it's really just these points in here.
Okay.
Like on this side of the lateral malleolus, the ankle bone, and then the inside ankle bone. That's the uterus and ovaries points. So we don't want to work on those if somebody's pregnant.
Got it.
But you can still work on the rest of the foot. So, and then also the toes are a good one to remember because the toes are the reflex for the brain and for the head. So if somebody has and if you think about it, that's the absolute farthest point away, right? The tippy toes. So if you just massage somebody's toes, that is the best way to get rid of a headache or migraine quickly.
Gotcha. And the acupuncturist I worked with, they talked about the ear is also fully reflex. So we would just rub the cartilage of the ears.
Nice.
If you couldn't get to the feet, they always sort of say feet first, but
yeah, ears are super powerful. There's like 300 something acupressure points just in the ears.
Yeah.
Did I read this before? Chapter 13?
You read some of it. I don't know about chapter. I don't know what part you read, but yeah, you read some.
Okay. When they did contract disease, they simply guided properly the emotions and spirit and redirected the energy flow. This is the question is, I've heard in ancient times when the sages treated, all they had to do was employ methods to guide and change the emotional and spiritual state and redirect the energy flow. The sages utilized the method of prayer, ceremony, shamanism, which healed all conditions. Today, however, this is 3,000 years ago. Today, 3,000 years ago. Today, however, when doctors treat a patient, they use herbs to treat the internal, and they use acupuncture to treat the exterior. But some conditions do not respond. Why is this? It's because, and it's about, in ancient times, people lived simply. They hunted and fished all day. They were in harmony with nature. They were calm. They didn't have envy and greed. And when they got sick, they moved the energy internally. They understood how to move the energy internally. So that's what we're doing with these body work modalities, is we're assisting the person to move the energy internally.
Yes.
And it takes two to tango, so whether it's acupuncture or whatever it is, the receiver has to be willing to accept it and receive it and do their part to move the energy internally, to relax,
to feel their body and to be embodied. I was like, embodiment's going to save us all.
Right.
To actually feel their body. We're so disembodied as a species.
Right.
But that really, I like it. Even 3,000 years ago, we might be moving, we might be outwardly focused. And when you're sick, it's just you've been unattended, right? You're not listening. You're not listening to what your body actually wants. You're fishing for the extra hour that you don't actually want to do it. So you bring the awareness back internally, and the body will always, always direct itself toward fulfillment because that's what we're wired for. But humans, we can go up into the head and out of the body and miss the cue. So
exactly. So once we, and that's where this it comes back to, this is a very physical, material, scientific thing. The energy is getting stuck, and in order to get healthy again, it's about moving the stuck energy. And that stuck energy has a signature. It's visible. It's not just, there's no such thing as energy without the body showing it. The body, that's another great saying, is the body does not lie. The body never lies. So if somebody's like this, guess what? They're sad. They're worried. That's what's happening. That's what's the reality of the energy inside. And if they're like this, that's frustration. If they're like this is warrior obsession. Right? So Trump is always like this. Biden was always like this. And that's what our two political parties are. One is fear and the other is worry. And they just pumping that BS constantly.
It's all nonsense.
Right.
None of it actually real. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just want people to understand that there is a science to this. There is much more than a placebo effect to this. This is actually changing the most palpable reality that we have. When you look at somebody and the way that they're breathing is shallow and tense, that we know scientifically that's corresponds to what we call the sympathetic nervous system, right? So the fight or flight. So if a person is breathing that way, that's the first thing that has to be changed. I'm not even going to work on somebody's feet until I get them to have a nice breath cycle. And when I'm working on people, one of the main things I think that is effective that I do is I myself will go.
I love your. Yeah. It's right in line with just rewilding ourselves and being weird in public, which I think is a public service.
Yeah.
Just let it rip. Let ourselves be animals again.
Exactly. Or like shaking it off just like animals do.
Yep. Just like animals.
Any animal out in the wild will not hesitate to just shake it off.
Absolutely. Always. Constantly. Right? It's a constant release of the adrenaline, a release of everything. The energy doesn't get stored because they don't have an idea that they're doing it wrong or that they're unworthy or they need to be lovable or they need to be perfect or they need to be beautiful.
So what is it that keeps people, and there's many examples of this. the sneeze is one thing that is like a pet peeve of mine. Sneeze it out. Let it out. Don't give me this. And, you know, our culture's all messed up in all sides, but it's definitely shamed to sneeze in public because
because they have the whole virus programming. Well,
there's that, right?
Yeah.
Boy, I my
sneezes
are like, what's that?
Contagion, right? The contagion fear is what holds it in. It's just the endless amount of fears, so that we maintain restrained status. We're good little slaves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like believing in demons. Might as well believe in demons. And I will sometimes speak about demons, but not because I take it seriously. It's only like a tool. It's this idea of demons, just like God, Satan, these are literary tools that we can use for our health. Mm-hmm. And like you were saying, when the mind is not here in the present moment, I think I told that story before about the Hoon and the Po, the 7 turbid demons of the corporeal Po. So these are they are housed in our lungs. That's where their nature comes from, our lungs, which is yin. And along with the Hoon, like the moment that we're conceived, the Hoon and the Po, from a spiritual perspective, are constituting what we are. They're helping to create and govern what's happening. And the Po they're corporeal. So they're part of the physical, the earth, the yin, this material. And they're happy to go back to it. So if we die and they're released back to the earth, they're like, okay, whatever, that guy was dumb anyway. he fell for all of our stupid tricks. What a dummy. So when the Hoon is the minister, okay, and think of like a government position, like the minister is in charge of the guards, of the security guards. He writes their checks, whatever the minister says, the guards are going to do it. They're brainless. They just do what they're told. Mm-hmm. But if the minister's messing around, he's not at work, he's not supervising them, now they get to run free, right? Mm-hmm. So there's 7 different demons, turbid demons of the corporeal Po, that when the minister is out, what's called spirit traveling.
I get it. Yeah.
Right. In other words, we're not embodied.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's why they say
it's that when the house is empty, the vermin come in.
Yeah. Make sure that the minister is right there on his throne.
Mm-hmm. That's where he's in your throne, in your body, on your throne.
Thank you. The minister, put the minister on his throne. Mm-hmm. And then all the demons, the turbid demons, they have to go back to their posts, and actually they're on your side now. They work for you. Exactly. They work for you, but if the minister is going to leave and not care about his job, then why would they care?
Yeah.
They're happy to go back to the earth. They don't. So these are literary devices that are not to be taken seriously within Taoism. These are Taoist stories.
Yes, they're metaphors and stories that help reflect and validate your direct experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how it actually feels.
Right?
Yeah.
And so each of the 7 demons has their own way that they mess with you. And like one of them, gets you into a super embarrassing situation that you're going to be ashamed of your whole rest of your life. The other one gets you to be very angry. The other one gets you to be very hypercritical of everybody. And so all 7 of them are very relatable. And I'm like, I remember reading it for the first time and being like, oh my God, this is exactly, I'll do one of these 7, anytime I get mad or anytime I let the minister off his throne, I'm liable to do any of these things.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
Putting the minister back on his throne is
in his throne.
There you go. In his throne and
hers. Mm-hmm.
And it comes from the liver. So the Hoon is associated with the liver. The Po is associated with the lungs. So what I like to do if I feel like my minister is not on his throne, or if I catch myself, do a nice breath in, and I'll breathe in kindness and feel like a deep forest green. like welling from my liver, coming up like this and just washing all over me. A deep forest green kindness.
Nice.
Kindness for myself, kindness for others, but being kind to myself and not being like, you idiot, you just did that again or whatever. Just kindness for myself. It's okay. And then on my breath in, release any anger, any frustration for myself or for others. And then just have a few breaths like that and feel from the liver, deep inside of myself, coming up and washing me with kindness from within. So that's what I like to do to bring the minister back on his throne.
Nice.
Yeah. So how to relate this all to foot massage or a foot reflexology massage? If anybody has any questions, feel free.
Yeah, let's take some questions. I'm gonna take a quick restroom break. I'll be right back.
Oh, take your time. Can I see questions on here?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I see. You got a bunch of cool people here. Thank you all for being here. Howdy. Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions about either foot reflexology, belly work, or cranial sacral, we're going to be doing a little cranial sacral demonstration as well. Please go ahead and leave them in the. There we go. So I don't think there's any questions yet, but maybe if anybody has any, that's happy to take them.
We'll take them at the end, but yeah, do your thing.
Well, let's see here. So I've got, see if you can see my anatomy map here. I've got the Western anatomy on one side, but then here's the acupressure meridians that we see here. So understanding about what the feet are, these are points right here where we have energy. If you look at anybody look at your big toe, you've got two sides of your big toe, right? There's the side that's inside and the outside. The inside is where the spleen enters, and the spleen enters and goes up inside of the leg and keeps going up like that. Goes all the way up in here. And then liver starts from the outside of the big toe and similar kind of runs up the inside of the leg and keeps going up into here. And then stomach starts right here on both sides. Okay. And it goes down on the outside of the nipple. It goes down the outside of the knee. And then it goes down the front of the foot and it goes out of the second toe. So what we have happening is a two-way flow of energy, right? So that's the important thing to understand, is that there's this two-way flow of energy that's happening
on every toe, or the big toes, or just all throughout the foot.
Every toe and finger, actually.
Every toe and finger, right? Yep. That makes sense.
And so we have 12 organ meridians, they're called, and so like for the hands. The lungs starts here and it goes out this way and it comes out of the thumb. And then large intestine comes from the sky and it goes into this finger right here, the pointer finger. And specifically, it's very specific. It goes into the lateral aspect of the tip of the finger, not the inside, the lateral side. It goes down just like this. And then it comes up like this and it goes up into here and to right about here. That's both sides. And then, so you've got lungs coming out of the thumb, large intestine going into the first finger. You've got pericardium coming out of the middle finger, triple burner coming into the fourth finger. That's like our hormonal system. It's not triple warmer or triple burner is not recognized in the Western anatomy, but triple warmer comes in right here. Boom. And then you have heart comes here and it goes out of the pinky, the inside of the pinky. And then small intestine goes to the outside of the pinky and it goes back into here. So it's a two-way flow. Same thing with the feet.
And
right?
just for anybody who hasn't seen Doc's first appearances, you do these exercises where you're pulling, you're massaging and brushing the energy and just doing a cleanse with your hands. So
Exactly.
and then you teach a lot in each of these appearances. So collectively, it's a lot, and then there's a lot on your page too. Um, but this is the first time you explained exactly what that was.
Okay, good. So it's good to know.
Mhm.
For our awareness and to help us to physically, materially move that energy the most, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can do that, for a quick second here.
Yeah.
Anybody who's watching this, you don't have if
Or
you're
listening,
seated,
it's now a podcast. Yep.
yeah, let's just go from right here,
Mhm.
the middle of the lower eyelid, right at the top of the eyelid there, the lower eyelid, and we can just do a nice circle right in here. And then we can come down, straight down, these lines right here that people typically have from going like this a lot. These lines right here, those are the lines of the stomach. So we want to massage that, let it all relax. And then we want to keep brushing the energy down. Keep coming down. Outside of the nipples, going down on the outside of the knee. And I'm going all the way to my toes now. And I'm pulling it out of my second toe.
Well, you
Then
can feel the natural desire to just exhale. I can feel it like building and then release. Beautiful.
So we're actually
Nice.
moving our energy when we do that. It's a very physical, mechanical, real thing. Starting to get a little sunny here. I might have to move inside here. It's like that time of year right now where it's like chilly in the mornings, but then as soon as the sun comes out, then it gets hot.
Yep, same here.
But I never complain about the overcast mornings.
No, it's kind of nice, cozy.
Yeah.
Not as hot.
I love a nice overcast morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should I maybe move this thing like this? No, I don't want to change it now. So we have a question about using oils with the massage. Excuse me. Okay, Randolph was asking about using oils with the massage. And then, what about fascia tightness in the feet? Okay, good question. Okay, so that was the first question, so I'll answer that first. T. Rustler. Okay. You see this right here? It's a lacrosse ball. So for T. Rustler, if the bottom of your feet are tight, get yourself a ball like this, and you can start out with a tennis ball. It'd be a little soft, be a lot softer and easier to do. But what you want to do is just basically stand on it. So right now I'm standing. You can hardly see me here. So right now I'm standing on this lacrosse ball, and now I'm standing on the lacrosse ball, and I'm just putting some pressure. So I'm on my right foot, and I'm just stepping into it a little bit, and that's a great way to help yourself with that fascia tightness that's on the bottom of your feet. But what I want you to understand even more, T Rustler, is if the bottom of your feet are tight, if it feels like the fascia on the bottom of your feet are tight, it's probably an indicator that your whole posterior chain, is tight, slaps, underdeveloped. So I would work on not just directly on the bottom of your feet, but I would also start working on your whole posterior chain, because that's going to lengthen and strengthen all of the muscles and all of the soft tissues, fascia, tendons, muscles, everything. It's going to lengthen and strengthen everything in the whole back line. And most likely the reason right now why the bottom of your feet feel tight is because your whole back line is tight, the whole posterior is tight, and the feet are being pulled, basically. The bottom of the feet are, it's like they're being pulled by tight muscles everywhere in the back. So, and it's all contributing to each other, you know? So tight muscle here makes this muscle tighter, and then this tight muscle makes this muscle tighter. They're making each other tighter. So how can you engage and strengthen and lengthen your entire posterior chain? There's many ways to do it, but the best way to do it, I think, is to put a ball on the back of your head and do. So you don't have to have a ball, but just right here. You see this hip hinge? So just by, when I'm hip hinging like that, okay, this is like the opposite of a sit-up, right? So when people do a sit-up, we're working here, right? We're going like this, working the front. Here, the work is not on this direction, but the work is on this direction.
Ah,
right?
Oh, it strengthens. And is it your whole back, your mid back?
I mean, this right here will really work your whole back, including including the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the whole back. And especially if we load the head while we're doing it, it will to the next level, right? Hold on a second. I'm just going to get a ball.
Head loading, by the way, is a huge thing that Doc's taught me. I go around with a 12-pound bag of rice on my head, walk for hours, and I have this ball as well. And it really it demands that your spine aligns and opens the flow.
Exactly. So what we can do, if the bottom of your feet are tight, I bet when you do this right here, you're going to really feel an engagement and a lengthening of those muscles that are tight at the bottom of the feet. When you do this right here, you're going to engage. And when we engage muscles that are tight and short, then they start to strengthen and they eventually lengthen. So that's my answer for that.
And by the way, Doc's available for one-on-ones. He's got a whole system on his Substack. Go DM him, all that.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, tight fascia on the feet. I mean, there's more to it. There's more to it. There's also, how are you breathing? How's your posture? What's your mindset like? What are your movement patterns like? And what are your dietary inputs? Your whole diet. All those things play a part. We need to address all of them. But at the same time, there are definitely some exercises like the one I just showed you that will help regardless. So you just want to strengthen and lengthen the whole back line. But then also, we don't want to forget about our breathing and our posture. Those are essential, right? And, people I work with, I'll start working on their feet with my hands. And, it's like their feet will be tight like this, like as if they're holding their feet. Like, people will hold their hands, they'll kind of ball up their fists. People do that with their feet as well. Not quite as much, but they'll hold a lot of tension with their feet. So T. Russell, if you have fascia tightness in your feet, I want you to really start noticing, how are you holding your feet, right? Are you just let me see. Are you just commonly just kind of, just walking around with your toes a little bit flexed? Or when you're sitting at home, are you just kind of flexing your toes a little bit? Because a lot of people will do that without even noticing it, without really being conscious that they're actually tightening the bottom of their feet while they're also tightening their whole, their knees are tight, hips, everything is tight at the same time. So there's a lot to it. Every single person is different. So the reason your fascia on the bottom of your feet might be tight could be different is definitely different from somebody else's, right? So you just have to, if you want to give me any more information there, T, what about fascia tightness around the toes? Okay. So this is just a good rule for anything. Anywhere that there's tightness, anywhere that there's pain, you need more movement. You need more full range of motion brought back. So when I work on people's feet, one of my main go-tos, it's just easy to do. People love it, and it's just simple. I'll take somebody's toe and just spend like a few minutes. Now, imagine somebody's lying down on the table, right? Or they're on the ground, but I just take their toe and I'm just going to go to the max range of motion that it has. And I'm just going to, and I'm going to start, and I'll spend like 3, 4, 5 minutes just holding their toe in that deep position that it never gets into. And
the opposite of where it sort of curves, and just working that muscle and stretching it. Yeah.
And just going like this right here, finding that point where they're like, when we're working on people, the body communicates to us. So usually before somebody is hurting, before somebody's actually hurting, I already know that if I keep going any farther, it's going to hurt. So I'm at the limit, you know what I mean? But that's kind of what, when I'm doing body work, I'll get right up to that limit a lot of times, and people want that and they need that. They actually want to be brought to the edge where it's good, good pain, we call it, right? They want to feel that. And so I'll do things like that. And so I start out and I bend it way over this way. Hold it for a couple.
I love watching you work with your body, because you're just like, there's no fear. There's just like, you're just so familiar. It's inspiring. It's like, yeah, go for it. Like, don't be timid. We're awfully timid with our own body.
Well, if anybody's watching this, if you're actually paying attention and you're taking this in, you can really help people so much. When your mother, your father, anybody's having some serious pain, you can just go to their feet and just, okay, let me take their big toe and I'm going to move
it. Go to your own foot.
Go to your own foot. Exactly. So exactly. T. Russell was asking, what about the tightness of the toes? Okay, when was the last time you did this? T? When was the last time you did it? You probably have
never.
Probably never done it. So why are we surprised that we're tight? No big deal. Nobody's fault. We weren't taught. We weren't brought up in yoga. We were brought up to sit. Everybody sit in the seat in the same way with the same outfit and shut your mouth. So we weren't brought up to express, our full body. But just go like this, T, with your purging exhales, releasing the tension that prevents you from being comfortable in this position, releasing that tension, going. And after a minute or two, then go to the opposite range of motion and go to the farthest point.
Love it.
And then guess what? There's more ranges of motion. Go this way. Just.
And there's a playfulness to this. There's a just what does my body do? It reminds me of kids. Kids will just be like, like what, exploring.
Exactly. Exactly.
And like, it feels really good to just be like this for half the day, Yeah.
Exactly.
You're releasing everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So every yoga pose, T. Rustler, your whole body is screwed up. That's okay, brother or sister. I'm sorry. Either way, my friend, don't despair. T. Rustler, do not despair. I was in so much pain.
You healed yourself from
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was in a lot of pain. My shoulders were my number one chief complaint. And right now they're I have so much range of motion in my shoulders. I can shake hands with anybody behind me. My buddy I went camping with the other day, I brought him through that test and he couldn't even go past here. And he's about the same age as me. So, T, my friend, do not despair, especially if you start using the weight on the crown of your head. You're going to feel it's 100% free. Try it anytime. You can try it anytime. And even without a ball, just imagine that you have one on the crown of your head and send it up to the sky and flatten this right here. Send the crown of the head up to the sky. And
I'll show you my rice bag, my Madonna in tote bag that has my bag of rice, and I just walk around like this.
Nice.
And I tell you, it feels so good, and everything just starts to align on its own. I don't have to imagine anything. I don't need it. Just the body just corrects itself.
Beautiful.
My hips are more aligned. Everything.
Yep. So the body follows the head.
Mm.
If you ever try to catch a snake, you ever try to handle a snake, well, guess what? You can handle it if you just get so below. T Rustler's asking my website. It's jingpalace.com. Jingpalace.com. That's for the method of loading the head. And then a little confusing right now for me too. I have 2 websites, but I'm trying to basically offer people, because a lot of people don't want to do anything physical. They just want to talk, and they're not ready for a exercise method yet, especially something that's so different. So for that, I have a mindset focused website that is called healingisfree.com. But if you're interested in the method of loading the head, go to jingpalace.com, and it's all free content, and I'm happy to do free consults with people over the phone. I do have to charge my time if
you go further than that. But your assessment skills are very good. So if somebody is like, here's all my symptoms, and you will be able to work with it. Like try him out. he's the depth of knowledge is vast. So
thank you very much. Well, that's definitely something I love to do with people. And when I do a free consult with people, I always ask the same question. Tell me what I need to know. And I never ask age. I never ask, what do you do for a living? Or any of these banal questions that are really about marketing. I don't ask. I might ask you, tell me what you do in a normal day. Like, are you sitting down a lot? Tell me about what you're doing, Oh, Abby, you're welcome to contact me, my friend. Please. We can set up a free consult. So if you contact me, or if T Russell contacts me, we'll set up a free consult, and I'll say, tell me what I need to know. And that's the only question I really ask. Usually people will speak for a while, and they'll tell me all kinds of things. And then what I like to do is I like to help people understand how all these symptoms, all this is connected together, and they're not separate things. And you also don't have to be diagnosed with some kind of disease to start changing these things. Oh, T Russell, my name is Doc Smith. So what I like to do is help people to understand how, if you're experiencing insomnia and knee pain, and if you have symptoms of like a urinary infection or a bladder infection, all these things can be understood together, and they can be resolved together without any products, without any technology. I like to say we are the tech and breathing is the product, right? The product is something that is produced for the benefit of the person who consumes it, but the person who consumes it does not produce it. Same thing with breath. It's just happening. We're not creating this breath. It's from outside of us, in a sense. It's happening, and we are the beneficiary of this product of breath. So, seems to be post-vaccine symptoms, because I was extremely healthy before my body collapsed in 2021. Okay. Well, T, that's okay. I've worked with several people who have felt the same way, and I will help you to understand, even if it's part of it, even if the vaccines are part of what you're feeling, you can still self-heal better than you could ever imagine, and better than the so-called science will ever tell you. You can self-heal, whether it's vaccine, whatever is the injury. What we need to do is we need to focus on the fundamentals. How are you breathing? What's your posture, mindset? What are your movement patterns? And what are the inputs? So what are you eating? How often are you eating? When are you eating? Are you watching TV all day? That's an input, right? So, so when we start,
Sorry, just really quickly. Also, Randolph, will you link T. Rustler to Miriam and to Claudia as well? The folks who also are helpful with vaccine injury, who I've had on the podcast. So I'm just going to ask Randolph to link to them,
sure,
so that he can reach out to all three of you.
Good. So Abby says she's been doing the ball for about a month now. That is great.
That's awesome, Abby.
Okay. So yeah, so the point is about the vaccine or whatever it is that could be injuring us or harming us. Once we start turning on our self-healing capability, we are so much more powerful. It really takes a bullet. It takes a chainsaw. It takes a bus. Humans are amazing. It takes a lot to kill us. It takes
self-regenerating. Yes.
We are self-regenerating. And, how are my organs going to get healthy again? Well, the same exact way that they were created in the first place. They created themselves from within. It's our liver is a manifestation of wood energy. It's wood element, and it pools up and it's created there in that place, but it's not just there. It's actually coming from the earth all the way into our body and combining with all the other elements on an ethereal or energetic level that is not just the material. So if anything is diseased or injured, remember that it can self-heal, it can self-regenerate. The breathing is the most essential thing, because no matter what we're doing, we're breathing. You're going to be breathing. And I've had so many people who can't imagine. They're like, no way is my problem related to my breathing. If my problem was related to my breathing, I would have already fixed it, because I breathe all the time. Mm-hmm. Well, how are you breathing? Are you taking your breath? Show me a breath. Show me a nice deep breath. And people almost always go, nope, I want you to never breathe that way. I don't want you to ever take. Why are you taking what's a gift? Why are you using energy? Why are you spending energy 20,000 times a day? You're using your muscles and you're tensing yourself up to take, rather than allowing and accepting and receiving this gift of air that will just seep in without having no muscular tension is required to breathe in. And we go in through the nose, just seeping in. And if I have any tension or pain, show me the exhale. And then people will exhale and they'll be like, okay, well, what about your mouth? How about open your mouth and go, ah. Because if there's any tension right here, it's the same tension that's at the bottom of your feet. T. Russell, that tight fascia at the bottom of your feet, it's connected right here. So the first step really to relaxing that, I guess there's bad transmission right now. It'll all come through what's needed, folks. Yeah. But the point is, the master key to any pain relief or any tension relief, wherever it is in the whole body, if it's at the bottom of your feet, wherever it is, the master key, the first thing to do is release right here. Go, ah. Make sure we're releasing this. And then the second thing is the posture. start to line up the posture. Now the blood is flowing, and then we can start to think about our mindset. Okay, well, okay, now I'm breathing better. Now my posture is correct. What do I have anything in my mind that is bringing me back into this pattern of fast breathing and bad posture? Because let me address that. Let me remind myself that there's nothing to fear, and that I can release that, and that what I feel as fear is actually just me breathing too fast and curling up my posture into the fetal position, because for a bunch of different reasons I've been taught to do that. I've seen it on TV, and I've seen people react this way to this, and I'm just in this tension pattern, but there's no real reason for it. So
all stress is believing untrue thoughts.
There you go. I love that. So, let's see here.
I want to make sure
Yeah, go ahead.
that we get we know the technique of the holding of the head and the belly rub. And then you've shown us with the feet, but like, is it just massage so that we have those tools to go from? And I also want to make sure you tell us about your class and remind me of the book.
Time flies, doesn't it?
It does. I know.
Okay.
This is why we've met 3 times, and we'll continue doing it, because it's rich knowledge. And doctor, the word doctor means teacher. You're teaching us, and you have so much to teach.
Good. Well, thank you for being open. And so yeah, it would be great if I had a model to work on. So maybe one of these days I'll do when I have a live body here or something.
Yeah.
But I just want anyone who's watching this, the next time you have any symptom, obviously if it's an acute emergency, somebody's bleeding out or something like that, that's not what I'm talking about. If you need to go to the ER, you go to the ER. But I'm talking about headaches, migraines, irritable bowels, anxiety, depression, the common things that we have for you or for your loved one. Either go get a foot massage at the foot spa and see how you feel after, or give yourself or each other some work on your feet and notice what happens. Notice how you feel. Notice if the irritable bowels are not irritable anymore, if you actually feel all better. And then you'll understand the power of a foot massage. As far as teaching people exactly how to do it, I wish I had a foot right here. I got my own.
I know you're flexible enough. You can kind of show us, but
I don't want. But basically, you can't screw it up. Get in here, and if you start going like this on somebody, they're just going to most likely be like, thank you so much. Okay. And, give it a good squeeze. And it's wise when we're doing body work to use our structure and to use our weight, so we're not having to actually use our muscles to squeeze all the time. Right. So, usually what I'll do, people will be lying down on the table. And I have a bunch of videos on my YouTube. I probably have a dozen videos on my YouTube showing me doing body work on people. But, there's their feet. Usually what I'll do is I'll put my hands like right into the inside of the feet here, like this. And I'll just spread them open and just put my weight onto their feet, like right around in here in the ankles. And just basically push their feet down like this. Okay. Then just hold it for a minute or two. While they, I encourage them, nice breath all the way out. Do a few cycles of that. And then, like I showed you, I'll start pushing them out, and then I'll pick up the heels and I'll turn them in. I'll internally rotate the feet, and then I'll push from the outside, and I'll just holding my weight on them, not moving. I'm not doing anything. I'm just nice and relaxed. And I'm helping them go through their full range of motion with their feet. Right. So basically think in those terms. If you're massaging somebody's feet, just think about what is the range of motion of the foot.
Mm-hmm. You're increasing the range. And then it's also pressure. Our bodies love pressure. Those Pacinian corpuscles that, releases endorphins and all kinds of good stuff.
Right. Um, yeah, I mean, people like deep. A lot of people like it really deep and really, a lot of pressure. So you can definitely put a lot of pressure into the feet or anywhere in the body, and it'll feel good. Um, we always want to make sure that we're in tune, and um, if we start to feel the body like seizing up and tensing up, that's when we know we need to back off the pressure. But until we start to feel that, usually there's like a point in the proprioception that I'll feel where it's like, okay, this is the point right here where if I start to go any farther, they're going to start to tense up. So I have enough experience that I don't have to get to that point where I have to back off usually. But as as people start doing this and they aren't experienced yet, that's what's going to happen. You're going to start to put too much pressure, and then you're going to feel them tense up. Just remind yourself to relax and just back it off a little bit, and then remind them to release the tension and remember to go a little lighter. And usually massage therapists or body workers will say, how does that feel? But it's better to say, would you like lighter or deeper pressure? Because if you just say, how does that feel? Then they're now challenged to come up with what to say, first of all, and they're challenged to confront you and say, it's actually not good. I don't like it. Or it's too deep. So it's better to say, would you like lighter or deeper? And then they just say, oh, a little lighter. Or they say it's perfect. Right. So that's just a tip for anybody. If you're working on somebody, just say, would you like lighter or deeper pressure? Don't say, how does that feel? Because people a lot of times will just tell you it feels good because they don't know what else to say. So.
Good guidance. Great. And what about the belly and then the head?
So the belly massage, let's feel this point right here in the center of our palms. Okay. We all have this point in the center of our palms. And when I breathe in, I'm feeling this point right here. It's like it's a well of energy. It's like energy. It's a portal. Energy can come in through the center of the palms. With my breath out, energy can go out. And I'm going to take this point of the center of my palms right here and just place it right over the belly button. And you can do that for yourself. And here in this moment, it might be hard to feel, but when we're by ourselves, when there's no attention scattered anywhere else, just simply doing this right here will do a lot to restore function to all the organs in the belly. And if a child or loved one has a tummy ache or anything, almost any symptom, because we know that our vital organs are connected to everything, right? So a lot of people know now that there's the brain gut connection and all that. So just by placing a calm hand right over the belly button, and then if we feel like doing any movement, we can start here at the belly button, and then we can slowly start making clockwise circles, and then eventually get to where we're going up to the rib cage here, coming down to the colon, down to the bladder, liver, gallbladder, coming up to the heart, and then just continuing in this circular motion here.
Expanding circular motion?
What's that?
It sounds like an expanding circular motion going clockwise. Yeah. Got it.
And nice and slow. That's encouraging the natural flow, the direction of flow of the digestion. So, so the belly massage is a great one that can kind of cover almost any symptom. And then the third one is somebody's lying down, right? So I have their skull. Hold on 1 second. Right here. Okay. So say they lie down, face up. I'm just going to gently slide my hand under the back of their head right here, just like that. And I'm just going to let my hand be like almost like a dead fish, where it's just nice and relaxed and it's just there. And it'll be more kind of flat like this, right? And then just this hand being here right here is going to help all of this anatomy to relax and release, right? There's so much tension in the back of our neck and the occipital muscles. And like I said, what's happening, typically our posture, instead of being straight like this, our head is forward and then we're hinged like this. So what that means is that this point right here is like a concave, right? That's why we want to tuck the chin slightly and we want to lengthen and flatten this right here. So just by placing the hand under there, we can start to help it to lengthen and flatten, right? So just by doing that, we're helping. And then we have this other hand too. So I might as well use it. And this is a good one, especially for like anxiety, depression, mania, anything where there are lots of thoughts. If we've got lots and lots of thoughts that won't stop, one hand here, other hand, gently drape. Again, this point of the center of the palm, the loud gong, is going to go right into the center, third eye. Okay.
Third eye. Great.
And I'll typically,
it's the back and the front of the third eye.
There you go.
Yeah.
Boom, right here. And this is within cranial sacral technique or modality. This is one of the holds. And you can hold this for 30 minutes. You can hold it for 10 minutes, however long. And it will greatly help the people. It's kind of like it shuts down your world. Like when somebody puts their hand over your forehead and like also, like over your eyes like this, kind of shuts down your world. And that's what we
projecting. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we do. We just calm this. There's, no reason to be racing all up here. Look how calm, and everything is totally calm. And also, I like to drape my fingers like over their face, over their nose, their eyes. So that way their eyes aren't opening. And from this position right here, then we can also very easily go into face massage, which is another thing I'll show maybe another day. But you can't go wrong with face massage either. I mean, just
whatever you feel to just get all the way in there. And there's so many acupoints in there. Beautiful.
There's so many acupoints. You can learn where they are and what they are and all that. I mean, here's gallbladder, here's urinary bladder. This is where they enter. And then they have their lines that they go along. Stomach is here. Large intestine comes into the hand and it comes up to here. So all that's good to know if we want to incorporate the specifics, but also you can just.
And what do you think about gua sha and the rollers and things? Do you prefer manual fingers? Or it doesn't matter?
I always prefer onboard human technology. And to me, it's the most powerful. Really, truly is our onboard human technology, because then there's nothing mediating.
Yeah. No middleman.
Right. There's this. I don't know who it was that was commenting on one of my posts, and they had this wand that they were like, I swear by this wand, it's the iTerra wand or something like that. Oh, T. Rustler. I'm a trained in Chinese medicine. So these are the acupressure Chinese organ meridians. So, I came across somebody who was promoting this wand, I guess, that like, it's a wand that if you have pain in your jaw, you put it by your jaw and it's going to help your jaw. I'm like, guys, just put your own hand.
This is a wand. Yeah. This has energy coming out of it. This is a magical wand.
Like, how did they do these scientific studies to supposedly support this wand? Did they actually have a control group that didn't have the wand, but they just used their own hands? And no, they didn't. Of course, we
love a tool. We love an extra.
Right.
Some way to make money, right? But yeah.
Yeah. So those are the three main concrete things I wanted to share with everyone. We didn't really get a chance to get into my Twaina class, but
well, just tell us about it. It starts Monday.
Yeah. So Monday at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. If anybody's in Santa Barbara, you're welcome to do a drop in for just one class, or if you want to take the whole class, 7 classes, contact me because I'll need to make sure we have enough room. But it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a great class. I'm going to teach basically my style of Twaina. I first took Twaina class along with all the other modalities in 2015 and 2016. And Twaina was just the one that stuck with me. And it's my favorite expression, I guess. And over the past 10 years, I've developed my own way of doing it and have like a pretty solid sequence that I feel like I can teach to almost anybody, and it covers almost everything. So that's what I'm going to be teaching on Mondays for the next 7 weeks or so here in Santa Barbara. And if anybody's interested in that, let me know. Could potentially bring in another person into the class. Although what I'm mainly trying to do with this is actually record it and then have it on my website.
Great.
For people to check out later. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And yeah, check out GenePalace.com, healingisfree.com. Your Substack is amazing. Your YouTube's amazing. All kinds of tools and techniques, and your other 2 appearances here. Fantastic. And Randolph is driving, so he couldn't put in it's functional nutrition and functional nutrition 1 and 2 with Miriam are my ones to look for my recordings, and healing mRNA technology. That's what to look for, T. Rustler, for vaccine injury healing. And then Doc has 2 other appearances here too. So you've got 5 other things to check out, maybe 6 other things to check out.
Okay. And real quick, Tyra has asked about UTIs and bladder infection, tips for naturally healing those. Again, always every single person is unique. So Tyra, I would say, let's have a consult over the phone, no charge, 15 minutes or so. And I'll ask you, tell me what I need to know. And then you're going to tell me all these different things that are going on along with UTIs or whatever. And then we'll put them together, all these different symptoms that are part of the same whole. With that being said, do I have tips for naturally healing bladder infections or urinary tract infections? Absolutely, I have tips. Number 1 tip is fasting. And that can just be intermittent fasting. So it's not always easy to skip a whole day meal, right? But skip breakfast, okay? Or have breakfast and then skip the other meals. Try to just eat 1 meal for a day, okay? Or just eat within only like a 4-hour window of time. So say if you eat at 9 a.m., then stop eating at 1 p.m. And that way you're going to have 20 hours of the day where all your organs are going to be off the clock, right? They're not working to process all this stuff that we keep snacking on and eating. So then what will happen is, even if you have what is translated as an infection by the medical doctors, it's not an infection. The problem is not because bacteria came from the outside and they came in. They were already there. All those bacteria are already there. The problem is that other things are happening, right? And a lot of times it's just dysfunction of the organ itself from being overworked. And I described this before one time where when the organs are working too hard, what do? They pull the energy from the soft tissues that are related to this. So a lot of times we'll have symptoms and we'll have problems that are related to bladder and that are considered a bladder infection, but the symptoms and the problems are actually because all of our soft tissues are tight and they're holding on to urine or whatever it is. So the number one thing to do is to try to fast. And it's great if you can fast all day and into the next day, and then you have only healthy food, right? And try to do in what's called an elimination diet, and where you eliminate everything else except for, maybe one or two things that you eat for a week or whatever. Things that you know are healthy, right?
This is Miriam's another one to check out, Tyra, with Functional Nutrition, MSLLURIA on Substack, with cleanses and exactly this, intermittent fasting, all of that. She's going to have your all this. She is a walking integrated medicine center. So
good.
Yeah.
So I would just say
between Doc and Miriam, you'll solve it.
Good. And I would just say, blanket prescription is always fasting. And then
a lot of water, a lot of cleansing, a lot of
what?
Well, I know you don't agree, but water for me is
prescribed.
Yeah,
I think water's. It's just it's an easy scapegoat and say, oh, you need to hydrate more.
It is, but we're generally this is just my own experience, and we're generally underhydrated. We're generally dehydrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my dog friend, he literally wouldn't. I put water in front of him. I poured bone broth in the water. He refused for 2 days.
Yeah.
He dry fasted. He did a dry fast. He didn't touch food for 4 days, and he didn't touch water for 2 days.
Totally. I'm just saying, like, if it's really all, in the end, it's always about listening to your body.
Right.
But I tend toward dehydration. And when I listen to my body, I drink way more water than I think I need. And I feel like 10 times better.
Okay, good.
That's just me. And I've known a lot of, especially women, be somewhat dehydrated. But you're right. It could be the other way. So you have to really listen. Miriam's on the side of hydration.
Yeah.
And it's just helped her. And something like this where, like, it's everything you said, right? It's the muscles, it's everything else. But it's also just a reboot, like fasting does, right? Water can do. At least it does it in my system.
Yeah. Well, listening to the body and you can hydrate, and then you can also do a dry fast the next day. And by dry fasting, that doesn't mean go the whole day without drinking water necessarily.
Froze up here. We lost him. Shoot. See if I can bring him back on. You're welcome. Also, Miriam has a bunch of resources on that, on those posts. So Anima Mundi website and all these other things that are for cleanses and liver cleanse. This my smoothie here has the Anima Mundi liver cleanse green powder. It's really good, and it makes me feel good. So all kinds of stuff for you. Doc froze. I know he froze and he dropped out. We'll see if he comes back. If not, we'll just have him on again as we will. And let's yep, it says not available. Okay. Well, that was our close. That's fine. I'm not very good with the goodbyes anyway. But I will be back on Monday, likely with Steph and with more friends to introduce, and I'll be in touch in the meantime. Let's stay connected, and love you all, and take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next Monday. All right. And let me know if you get a live stream going. Just DM me. I'm gonna put my schedule up, and I can't wait to hear yours or see yours. Okay, talk to you later. Bye. Thanks, T Wrestler. Thanks for stopping in. Definitely DM Doc. He's very, very available. Everybody, just know that. And I forget the name of the book he recommended, the mechanical something. I'll get that from him and put it in the show notes. So great, such great info. Totally, I'm gonna be massaging my feet for sure, and all of it, all of it. I've tried everything he's taught, and it's all been beneficial. So go check his stuff out, and we'll see you next week.